Yo, what's up, guys? Happy 100K day. Maybe. We'll see. It was teasing us last night, and I thought the Asian markets were going to be able to drive us through. So I was sitting here drinking whiskey, just watching charts for hours and hours, and then just ended up going to bed, passing out. It's like, all right, man, if they want to run it without me, so be it. But yeah, it would have been a shame if we missed it. But welcome, guys. How's everybody doing? Happy Friday. Happy almost 100K day. Let's see if we can get something running. Can you guys hear me and see me? Everything looking okay? Just give me a hell yeah in the chat. Like it up. Let the algorithm know we're awake. I know I planned this like super last minute. I didn't even really plan it. I just kind of threw it out there. So I don't know how long we're going to go today. I just wanted to hang out with you guys a little bit, answer some questions, maybe trade some shit coins. We'll see. I don't know. I've been doing some meme coin scanning this morning, just having fun. Um, for anybody who's in the community, you guys know yesterday I said that I want to have a couple of 8-figure trades over the next year, just really just kick some ass in the meme coin space, or find some stocks, let Bitcoin obviously do what it's doing. But I've got some cash and some trading accounts, and I'm like, I think I want to go like pretty aggressive over the next several quarters. And just let the portfolios that are compounding, let that stuff still do what it's doing, but also just really hammer all the opportunities that I can find in a bull market like this. So hell yeah. Yeah, so I've got the espresso today. And yeah, where are you guys at? What are you drinking? What are you eating? What are we doing? Are you guys out and about? Are you hanging out like me, sitting in front of your charts? Last night my legs went numb. I was staring at charts for so long. Oh man, I love it, guys. I cannot believe we're here. Like, how crazy is it? And for anybody that's been a believer over the past decade, the conversations we've had, oh man, Bitcoin at 1,000, that would just be crazy. Bitcoin at 10,000, holy shit, that'd be nuts. Bitcoin at 50,000. Now here we are, just shy of 100,000 United States doll hairs. Shit, man. What wild times. It's been a fun ride, and Bitcoin has changed my life in ways that I never thought would be possible. I've talked to thousands of you guys over the past decade plus, and I just love hearing the stories of people that have gotten out of really bad situations or dug themselves out of a pit of debt or built life-changing wealth or gotten out of, a hostile country, and now your life is just much better. So this tool that we call Bitcoin is the best tool for prosperity that I've ever seen. And I'm just so like stoked to be on this journey with you guys. So yeah, let's go, man. We'll jump into some charts. We'll look at, some opportunities that I'm seeing out there and share some stories, and yeah, just get things kicking. So let's pull up some charts. All right. Can you guys see this? I've got a spread of charts. We've got some Bitcoin stuff on the top. We've got some stock indices on the bottom. And Bitcoin is basically flat, dead flat on the day. If we look intraday, so this is the hourly chart, had a little bit of a pullback. So last night, and let me pull up, let's take a look at Coinbase first. And then if we look at the volume, 2 nights ago, Asia ran us from, like 95 to 98 in just a couple of hours. And so this is the only reason I was really stoked last night. I was like, all right, well, if they were able to do that, can they do it here. And we were so close. And right here on the, kind of the midnight oil, I was like, oh shit, we're going to do it. And then the volume just wasn't there. And for you guys that were watching the order book, you saw it kind of firm up. So there's definitely a lot of sellers or potential sellers that are maybe trying to scare bulls away, some shorts. But yeah, let's just see if we can get a little punch here in the morning session. Yesterday, off a market open here in the US, we had a dip and then a mid-morning reversal. So that's what I was looking to see if we could get to happen today. We had a little bit of a sell-off off a market open. And then here we are now around 11 a.m. Eastern. And we did get that morning reversal, kind of like back here. Yesterday, we had something real similar. So the question is are we going to get a squeeze into 100K and then basically blast through it? And this is what I was talking about, over the last week, we basically had this coiling up. And then once we started to peak above 93, we moved from 93 to 99 pretty quickly. And you can see that here on the daily chart as well. We had about a week of consolidation after the big, I'm going to call it the Trump pump. Election night, Bitcoin basically said, hell yeah, we have now done a 180 in the US. And now we've got a pro-Bitcoin administration after just having nonstop attacks and bullshit for the last 4 years. And again, when I say that, some Democrats are like, oh man, you're just a right-wing nut. I am politically homeless. I don't care. It's the Democrats that made this a partisan issue. It's Elizabeth Warren with her stupid anti-crypto army that for some reason, some Democrats tried to be anti-crypto as if people were going to actually get behind that. But Gensler's gone. If you guys saw yesterday, Gensler said he is officially leaving his post. And yeah, we're going to basically do a 180 in the US from an administration that was just suing everybody left and right, even if they were trying to do the right thing, to now, I think we're going to have some crypto friendly people in the regulator sphere. And yeah, what do you guys think? Are we going to do a Bitcoin strategic reserve? Is the US going to buy 1 million Bitcoin? Or are they just yapping? I think if you were going to ask me 6 months ago, I'd be like, I don't think the US would ever make a concerted effort to try to really stack sats. But now, I think the odds are much, much greater. So let's see. I'm looking through chat here. We've got a lot of the Costco hot dog crew in here. Oh man. Dude, let's talk about some meme coins today. I love and hate meme coins at the same time. I just think it's a great way to get younger guys and ladies into the markets in like a fun way. But the bad part is that, all the things that are illegal to do in the stock market are like front and center in meme coins. So, wash trading, pump and dumps, influencers getting paid. But, it's like, at least they're being honest and saying, hey, these are just meme coins. Like there is no promise to change the world. It is a true battleground where traders can come in and make an absolute shit ton of money. I mean, there are tens of billions of dollars worth of meme coins being traded. And yeah, I wake up every day going like, what world are we living in? Like, this is so crazy. Like with the internet and with meme coins and Bitcoin, like, dude, there's just so much opportunity. Like I would give away my entire net worth. I'd go to zero to start again with my current knowledge as an 18-year-old. I mean, that would just be dope. Like, so you young guys out there, man, you have so much opportunity. If anybody ever complains or like is bitching and moaning, there's no reason. Like, there isn't an abundance of opportunity and just so many ways to make money today. It's incredible. Does TA work on meme coins? That's a great question. Yes and no. Like, the easy part about meme coins is they are dominated by two groups: dumb money, basically people that have no clue what they're doing, and pump and dumpers or like shill influencers. So what that does is it creates a very lucrative environment for people that know how to trade. But the risk is obviously like rug pulls, and like if liquidity goes away, it can like destroy some pretty good like TA patterns like that. So yeah, we'll pull up some charts in a little bit and just go through some of that. Obviously, like, I don't take meme coins serious in a way of like I'm going to store value there for months and months and years. There have been some memes that have actually outperformed Bitcoin over some time periods, like Doge and some other ones, but you have to be comfortable with 95% drawdowns. Everybody says it's like, hindsight's 2020. We're like, yeah, if you could go back to Doge in the early days and just buy $1 million worth and then let it ride. But yeah, would you have really held through all those like 95% drawdowns? Most people can't stomach it. All right, let's pull up some charts. By the way, guys, again, go ahead and tap the like button. Let the algo know we're here. Let's wake this thing up. I did this like super last minute, so I'm sure people are just now getting the notifications. But yeah, I love doing these live streams, man. They're just so much fun with you guys. Yeah, we'll try to get to some questions too. Usually the chat gets going pretty quick, but see, Tyler was asking, do you get this sense that MicroStrategy will become the next FTX in the next bear cycle? I assume they're gambling away and will be forced to liquidate when the party's over. That's something that I've been thinking a lot about. There's definitely some inherent risks there. But if you believe Saylor is not going to do anything reckless, and if you believe that he's really never going to sell and he's only going to stack over time, then yeah, I mean, the more parties that have a large chunk of the Bitcoin supply, that does create some risk. And we saw the volatility yesterday, right? Like MicroStrategy gapped up and then crapped down. It's down like 15% on the day. So there's going to be massive volatility in MicroStrategy, but Saylor even said that's a feature. That's exactly what you're looking for in something like this. So for traders, it is a wet dream. Like this was one of my best trades of the year, buying at 200 and then scaled out half at 350 and then some more at 500. And I've got a runner on this thing still. But yeah, we'll see. Hey, where's everybody at? Let's do a quick like roundup. Where are you guys? Saw somebody just say Argentina. Where's everybody in the world? I love how we have such like a global community here. We got Germany, Belgium, Canada, Romania, Australia, Virginia, Sweden, Arizona, Texas, Poland. Stacking Dogecoins in Australia. There you go. We got Netherlands. We got Washington State, Mexico, Western Canada. Awesome. Chi-town. A lot of Europeans, man. Swiss, Sweden, Netherlands, Europe. A lot of Netherlands, Montreal, Florida, California, Slovenia, Texas, Geneva, Arizona, Florida, Pennsylvania. Awesome, man. Love it. Very cool. Okay, so let's just jump over to Bitcoin. Take a look. Yeah, we keep flashing green and red on the day. You guys take a look here. basically, after like a 3 or a 4 day push, not surprised to see a little bit of consolidation, and it's doing it at yesterday's close, right? So like 98.5 is kind of the magnet price today. And then if we go intraday, you can see what's happening. We just had that little pullback off a market open, got the pop off the 50 period moving average on the hourly chart. And we are so close, guys. Less than $500 last night. I thought we were going to do it. And then my head, I just started bobbing. I've been in front of my computer for like, oh man, 12 to 14 hours a day for the past several weeks, just working with the community, trying to create content. We've got some new projects in the pipeline. Getting ready to launch my own shit coin. No, I'm just kidding. You guys know me. I've been in this space for over a decade and I've never done any of that crap. Never done any paid shills. Never done any micro cap pump and dumps. I'm here for you guys. Well, I don't understand these influencers that do that shit, where they literally like steal money from their followers. And I was confused if people agreed with that. So yesterday I sent this poll out on Twitter, and actually not even that many people answered it, but I said, are micro cap pump and dump influencers, are they real traders or criminals? Because on one hand, even if they're doing pump and dumps, they are making money. At least it's better than being like a fake trader. But where are they making their money from? They're stealing it from their followers. That's where the money's coming from. So to me, it's a shitty thing to do. So I guess I'm happy to see that over 90% of you guys said, yeah, no, they're criminals. But to each their own, Let's see, man. This is the 11 o'clock candle. So we've got a little over 30 minutes. Let's see if we can flip this from red to green. I think there's really like two possibilities here. I think we are going to break 100. What's unclear to me though is how fat and long are the sell orders here. So we can pull up like a few different order books, and just like take a look at what the sell walls look like. So here's an example. Like this is Kraken, and I zoomed out to like $100. So basically, you can group each ladder by $100, and you can see, at least right now, the closer you get to 100K, the bigger the sell wall is. So we've got 800 BTC chilling there. Yeah, so we'll just kind of keep this up as we watch price action, see if we get any flurry. So the two kind of possibilities that I'm thinking here is sellers hold price below 100K, and then there's like some fake out breakouts. So that's like scenario number one. Or two, there's some fat finger market order buys that cause a pop stop run through 100K. Okay. So really the question is like, do we bounce around like this and maybe get like a little fake out and then trap and do some shit like this for, it could go on like that for several days? Or do we get situation number two, where today we get some kind of like just massive buy orders that eat through those large sell walls and just create that like that waterfall of selling? Because here's what happens. Here's what causes a pop stop run is, number one, you start to break through a sell wall, right? So you'll see the buy orders hitting the ask side of the order book. And then you'll see some big block buy orders kick in. And what'll happen is shorts that are covering their short, they'll have buy stop market orders. So that adds fuel to the fire. So buying begets more buying begets more buying. So when shorts start to cover, then you have breakout buyers that also start to hammer the ask So that eats up more of the sell wall. And then anybody that was potentially going to sell that maybe had orders sitting on the ask side of the book, they go, oh shit, I think we're going higher. Let me pull my sell orders and move them up. And so that's what causes that kind of like that like waterfall of buying when you get through a resistance area. That's what I call a pop stop run. And that's what I think would be cool to see today. I don't know if we're going to get that or if the sellers are going to kind of cap us and, we kind of bounce around this 100K zone, but we'll definitely stay dialed in and see which one it looks to be playing out. Yeah, the other thing that some of you guys were just mentioning in chat is if we look at the Bitcoin CME futures, we have a massive open gap. Okay, so not every single gap has to close, but most of them do. So from a probabilities standpoint, at some point in the future, we would anticipate to close this gap. Now, that doesn't have to happen. There's a world where we gap and go, right? So we got the gap, and this is like the second leg after that, where we just kind of trend higher, right? There's a world that exists with that situation, but the more likely situation from a probability standpoint is that we get some action and then we close that gap before continuing up. So this is something that I'm looking at too. The higher we go, if we get a washout, personally, I'd be looking for a dip buy. Again, not financial advice, but that's what I look for is in bull markets. I look for breakout trades and I look for dip buy opportunities, like really juicy, big washouts to key areas. So an example of that was a trade that I took last year. So if we look down here where the bull market started, this was January of last year. So end of 2022, we shifted from the bear market into a bull market. And if you notice, we had this open gap at 19 or 20K. And then we had this sell off. This was caused by a fear-based reaction to the regional banking crisis. And I saw this as a really beautiful buy opportunity. And so we closed that gap. And then the next day, or actually over the weekend, rather, we opened that gap again. So we had another gap open, and this one is still open. So that's what I mean by like not all the gaps have to close. Will price come all the way back to 20K in the future? I doubt it. But if it does and we get to 20, that's where I'm buying. But yeah, again, the point is that most gaps close, but they don't have to. So the question here is being at new all-time highs, does this collapse? One thing I can tell you guys, retail's back. I'm getting the texts, I'm getting the calls, I'm getting the, oh shit, you were right. Or, hey, I know I didn't buy over the last 10 years of you talking about this, but is now a good time to buy? Right. So those questions are starting to come in, which kind of freaks me out a little bit as far as like market sentiment goes. But yeah, type a yes or a hell yeah in chat if you've been getting the normies reaching out, friends, family, maybe old high school friends, the aunt or uncle, are you guys starting to hear from people that are not in the space with us every day? There's 99K again on the futures. Oh, it's pretty split. I'm seeing some yeses and some nos in there. Joe says, quote, I'm afraid to not have any crypto. Yeah. I think FOMO is absolutely kicking in now. Still, Dan says, still early. Vanille, not yet. I'm sure they will after 100K. I literally had a family member send me a video clip of them watching Fox News and them saying, how Trump is going to pump Bitcoin and all that. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, you're right. That is the start. Yeah. Bob says we'll tell you after next week, Thanksgiving. Yeah. Yeah, guys, if we could just get it to pop 100K by next Thursday, that would be great. Right? Here's Thanksgiving. Actually, right there. That's Thanksgiving. Hang on, let's do spot. I've already got it drawn up. So yeah, this vertical yellow line is Thanksgiving. So can we get there? When I was doing the live, was it last week or a couple weeks ago with Hoddle and Brad, we were talking about like if we thought it was going to be able to get through 100K by Thanksgiving. And yeah, it definitely took a lot of momentum, but we're knocking on its door. Oh man, what a decade it's been. Like actually 11 years. Do I have a copy of my book anywhere? I don't have my old book here, but I was just looking back at my records, and it was this time 11 years ago that we started working on A, my first like Bitcoin YouTube videos, and B, the Bitcoin book that I wrote and self-published. And we printed, I forget exactly how many books, but we sold them all. And then my dumbass just never printed more. I was like, all right, if we sell like 10 or 20,000, cool. That'll be enough people. I don't know what I was thinking. Never listed it on Amazon or anything, but I've been working on version 2 of the book for a long time. But every time I get ready, it's like, or I think I'm getting closer, something new happens, and I'm like, oh, I got to include this in the book. All right. Let's see, guys. This is that 11 o'clock candle I was talking about, seeing if we can flip it from red to green. This would be a good little slingshot to push us off through 100K, that 50 period moving average. But again, there's no guarantee that we're going to be able to eat through this big sell wall. We've got quite a bit. But all it takes, again, this is the advertisements. Michael Saylor could be sitting back in his chair with a couple billion, right? Maybe. That's another reason the stock pulled back yesterday. He keeps selling equity to buy and pump the bags. All right, we've got kind of a mixed bag on stocks. If you look below here, we've got the S&P and the Russell 2000 that are green. NASDAQ is flat to red. Let's just check on NVIDIA. Okay, NVIDIA is selling off a little bit. So this basically is the NASDAQ at that point, or at this point. What else? Netflix. Netflix has been on an absolute rip the past few weeks. What's Palantir up to? Still holding up. That was a nice breakout. Ethereum. So let's talk about ETH too. We had a nice gap on the CME futures, and it actually came back. It didn't technically close the gap, but it got really damn close. And you can see it's holding above that 200 period moving average. So technically, ETH is back in a bull market, believe it or not. This thing has definitely been underperforming. I had a breakout trade here around 2K, scaled some out. I'm still holding. Sol has been a much, much better trader this year. I didn't buy back in, so I had a trade at 55, closed the majority of it by 200. And I've been looking, but I just haven't gotten an entry that I really liked. But obviously, what's driving this is the meme coin usage of Solana tokens, right? So just scanning chat here. Oh, hey, thanks for the the paid chat. I didn't even know I had that turned on. You might be the first person to actually ever do that. I don't really do that many live streams, so that's pretty cool. I'll donate it somewhere. What effect do you think the FASB rules will have on MicroStrategy? Takes effect in January that they switched to counting Bitcoin on the balance sheet as an asset. That's a great question for Travis, the stock geek. And unfortunately, he is sick today. I don't know if he's in chat. Trav, if you're in chat, feel free to hop on. But what we can do is on our next We Talk Money, I'll make sure to have him explain what he thinks. So, oh, there he is. He's in chat. He said, feeling like poo. For anybody that doesn't know Travis, he's a part of our wealth building community and runs the stock side of things. He helped grow one of the best performing hedge funds to over $1 billion in assets under management, then retired and came to hang out with us and talked him into being a mentor for our community. So he is the stock geek, obviously, and has insight into this whole like intelligent leverage play that MicroStrategy is doing. And, we talked about it over the last 2 We Talk Money shows. And, it's interesting because on the upside, you get extreme premium and gains. But when that premium collapses, it can get pretty freaky. So yeah, thanks for the question. I'll save that. And we'll have Trav give his detailed explanation on our next live. All right, let's see. Cool. So we talked about ETH. We talked about Solana. We can look at some meme coins that are popping. I was doing some scanning this morning, just, trying over the past couple of weeks, I've been back testing different strategies, just trying to get a vibe for what setups are most profitable, because it is different. So if we jump over into DGen land on Dex Screener, I was basically filtering for a few things that I thought would be good screens. So to have some liquidity, a market cap that's not too small, but also not large cap, and, some decent volume. And I found a few that I was going to take a stab at. I don't know how I feel about doing that on a live stream. It's got to be liquid for me to want to do that. But yeah, maybe we'll do that in a little bit. Trav actually spoke up. He says, as far as the new accounting rules, it will mean that the Bitcoin on balance sheet will be more accurately marked to market. Awesome. Yeah, let's do a rundown of large cap. Man, somebody got super triggered in my comments yesterday. I mentioned Cardano. I was just having fun, and they were like, "Oh, I'm unsubbing because you talk shit about Cardano." It's like, guys, man, the cults are real. Very nice, actually. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4 breakout of an accumulation range. So 80 cents is multi-year resistance, and now for the first time of this market cycle, Cardano actually is in bull price structure. What does that mean? Well, it's made a higher pivot high and a higher pivot low, and it's above all 3 moving averages. And so this is basically the first breakout in a bull market. Now, what kind of follow through will that give us? That's a great question, because unfortunately, there are a lot of bag holders in Cardano that bought up here. So what that means is it becomes selling pressure. So any pop, you're going to have some of these people that are like, oh, thank God, I'm back to break even. Let me dump, right? So that just becomes supply. That's why newer coins where there are no bag holders are typically not always, but they can go much further because there's like fresh blood and there are no bag holders. So Richard says, I bought the breakout of accumulation. Nice, man. Yeah, for anybody in our Discord, I wonder if y'all are chatting about it. Take a look over there. Yeah, Trav's still saying some more comments about the FASB rules, cacti. Hope that's helpful. All right. So, yeah, just going down the list. So, actually, let's do this. If we take a look at the bigger picture, others is kind of what I look at as a gauge of if we are in an altcoin bull market. And I don't even want to say like altcoin season, but I want to say an altcoin bull market because altcoins could be going up in USD terms, but they might still be underperforming Bitcoin. So, but the first thing that I look at is the others chart. So, others is the total market cap excluding the top 10, right? So, get rid of ETH and Bitcoin and on, right? So, when this is making higher highs, higher lows, and it's above all three moving averages, you are in a technical bull market. When you're below all three, making lower lows and lower highs, you're in a technical bear market. So over the past couple of months, we were squeezing and it was unclear, like right here, it was unclear if small caps were going to break into the long kiss of death and just keep fading out, or if we were going to go back into a bull market. But on this rip, you see, we got back up above all three moving averages and we took out that prior high. So we have a higher high and a higher low. So yeah, it's back on. Now, are we in a altcoin season? The way that I've always defined that is by Bitcoin dominance. And if Bitcoin dominance is going up, that means that alts are just not outperforming Bitcoin. And if you're going to take on the additional risk of buying an alt, you better damn make sure it does better than Bitcoin. Otherwise, why are you trading it? You know, you're better off just holding Bitcoin. So my thesis at the start of the bull market back here was that we were going to go into a Bitcoin season and yeah, alts would go up, but that shotgun approach wasn't smart. And that turned out to be true, right? Most alts have underperformed Bitcoin over the last couple of years. And then you have like the occasional outlier like Solana or some of the meme coins, right? So like Bonk is one. God, I feel so silly like even saying these names, but Bonk is one that broke out of an accumulation range. Doge on the Elon news just broke out of its accumulation range. Pepe, Shiba, as Shib's like really underperforming. With is one that is in a much higher accumulation range now, and on and on and on, right? And we're even seeing stuff like, you know, Goatius Maximus, like AI, like starting to play and drive markets to billion-dollar valuations. So, yeah, guys, we're in a risk-on environment, like faux show. Yeah, good comments. I see some people shilling their tickers. All right, let's see. I'm going to just jump back to Bitcoin. Take a look. What are we doing on this candle? Are we going to flip from red to green? We got about 15 minutes left in the candle. The most important thing is actually, are we getting volume? Okay, so you can see we had some volume on this initial pop off of the 50 period moving average. Right now, it's a little bit slower. So for me to expect that we're actually going to be able to get through the 100K, we got to see some big volume. And let's just take a look at what I mean by that. So we need sustained volume like back here, right? So you can see during the Trump pump, when we were breaking out to all-time highs, we had sustained average volume going up. So we need to see that. Yeah, we've got one little volume candle here, but we need some big boys to come in. We need some heavy orders. Lay the hammer down. All right. Let's see, guys. Go ahead and refresh here. Yeah, don't forget, hammer the like button, guys. Let the algo know we're here. If you like me doing these live streams, I have a lot of fun doing them. But if you guys get value, please let me know. All right. So we just flipped the hourly from red to green. Let's see if we can get some Momo coming in here. Yeah, what's going on with Ripple? So obviously Ripple broke its accumulation range as well, above a buck, which was multi-year resistance. And then today we're actually getting further follow through. So another breakout. So guys, the crypto markets are happy as hell that Gensler's gone. Bye-bye. Let's just do a scan. Just looking at some smaller cap stuff. Most of these charts are still kind of garbage. They're starting to rotate, but yeah, let's take a look at Sui, Neil. This is one that I actually sent an alert out in our Discord, and I didn't get any damn fills. I was like, hey, because sometimes, like when I'm sending an alert, it takes time, right? So by the time I did that and then put my orders in, it was gone. But I know a lot of you guys in the community caught this. So great job. Came to the first target, which was 100% extension. Right now, it's kind of in no man's land. So hopefully you guys saw my video that I put out yesterday. And what I did is I created a decision tree like flow chart for how to manage trades. So if you haven't seen this, check this out for anybody that's like, hey, should I sell? I'll throw this in chat as well. See if that'll work. But yeah, that's the link right there. So this is just like, hey, do you have a plan? If so, what do you do? How do you manage your trades when you either hit a stop zone or you hit a target or you're like in no man's land? I think this should be helpful. So yeah, let me know if that makes sense or if you want me to clarify anything on that. But all right, let's get back to Mac Daddy Bitcoin. All right, we've got less than 10 minutes left in the candle. It's trying to hold green. I'm not seeing any massive volume coming in yet. I guess we could even go down into a 15-minute. Somebody just dropped like 1,000 Bitcoin order, all right? I know we got some whales out there. You guys have been with me for over a decade. Let's go. All right, we got some comments coming in on X as well. What is the price target people are buying at 99K expect? It's a great question. There's a few ways we can look at this, right? I think, right now, there's a lot of FOMO. And what I always like to ask is, what can the market do to cause the most pain? Right? There's pain on the way up. There's pain on the way down. It's either running to highs and making people FOMO in, or it's stabbing stops down and shaking out weak hands, right? So right now it's the FOMO trade, and we are at a very technical area. So if you look at this whole leg to the upside that started at 25K to the prior high minus that retracement. So that was a very beautiful 50% Fibonacci retracement, pretty much to the tick, right? On that Japan quote unquote crisis day, that came right to the 50%. And then if we run a fib extension based off of that, you can see right now that 100% is right around 98K. So I think, it's reasonable that we're getting a pause here. But yeah, if somebody was buying, also this 99K area is a 1-to-1 measured move of this prior range. Okay. So I always like to look for confluence. And that's what we have at 100K, right? It's also obviously a massive round number. So are we going to consolidate up here through Thanksgiving, or can we get a pop stop run? We got 10 minutes left in the candle, guys. Where's the volume? Where's the volume? Let's go. All right. Just checking on chat. I was talking to Carter trying to get him in. Looks like he's not going to be able to make it. That would have been cool. All right. Do you feel like this run is more like 2017 compared to 2021? Yeah, I mean, at least where we are in the current cycle, look, guys, this is a fresh breakout after an 8-month consolidation, right? This was literally 8 months of just boring choppiness, right? So when Bitcoin makes a fresh break after that much consolidation, typically you don't get just one pop and flop. Usually that's the start of a much bigger move. So for you guys that were with me in like 2016, you guys remember these consolidations, right? So we had a run from 150. Isn't that crazy to say? 150. I mean, we were buying here at 188 on this washout. That was fun. But we had 2 consolidation periods that were 6 months each, right? 2015 and 2016, and then here going into the end of 2016. So every time you get a big consolidation, you usually get extended waves, right? See how this was 1, 2, 3, 4 legs up after this breakout. And then 1, 2, 3 legs on this, and then a retest of the breakout level, and then continuation. So that's why I'm not like just jumping out here. Again, not financial advice, but for me, I'm holding. Okay. This is 1, right? First breakout, a week of consolidation, and now we're in 2. So do we get 3, 4, 5? That before a bigger retracement? That's the question. Now the looming bear case though is this big open gap. Yep. So we'll see. All right, 2 bags. Harry, one of our OG members, a massive pullback in 2016 after the break. Looks like how I imagine the gap close would look for this run. Absolutely. I agree. So it's like we get the run, you get a couple of waves up, and then, oh no, you wake up over the course of 1, 2, 3 days, it's down like 30%. Oh my God, everybody's freaking out. That's where I like to buy. You know, we've actually back tested the probabilities of a big bounce um, whenever Bitcoin's down over 30% in less than 3 days. Yeah, I think you can guess what happens. It's a very, very high probability trade. Oh, shit. That's not good. Never mind, guys. It's all over. Pack your bags. Kramer's bullish. What are we doing? I quit. Stevie will shorts blast. You'll blast through 100K. That is, I think, situation number one. Where's my notes? Yeah, a pop stop run through 100K. All right. We've got 5 minutes left in the hourly. Do we have any volume coming in? We do. All right, guys, let's zoom in. This is the hourly candle. We have a mid-morning reversal like we had yesterday right here. Okay. And the question is, are we going to get a Friday afternoon FOMO rush? John, can you explain what the gap is? Yeah, so that's a great question. A lot of people don't know. So CME Bitcoin futures, this trades on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, and it closes for a few minutes every day and then for part of the weekend. Okay. So you can see this candle was Friday, November 8th, and this candle is Monday, November 11th. So there was a big move over the weekend, which caused this gap. It's just like in stocks where, the stock market is only open from 9:30 a.m. Eastern to 4 p.m. Eastern, but there is a pre and a post market trading. In my opinion, these things should trade 24 hours a day. It's kind of ridiculous that they don't. But I actually tweeted about this too a few days ago. Let me see if I can find it. Where I was talking about how ridiculous it is to have the regular stock market hours, because a lot of the stock price action you don't even see on a daily chart anymore. And it causes a lot of limitations and confusions. So, like, this yellow shaded area, this is all aftermarket trading on Walmart. So most of the movement, most of the action, retail traders don't even see. And so you get these big gaps in price. And like, this is GME when Roaring Kitty was doing a stupid pump and dump. Most retail investors only saw 65 as the high for his last fake pump, where in the pre-market it went up to 80. And so professional traders probably got better fills up in the 70s and maybe as high as 80. But anyway, that's my tangent. But so gaps happen on the CME Bitcoin futures because it closes on the weekend. Hope that's clear. You're going to start posting on Blue Sky as well? I don't think so. I got on there a few days ago, did about 5 minutes of scrolling and noped the hell out of there. It just looked too woke for me. Hopefully it's not. I mean, you guys tell me if it's good or bad, but I did like 5 minutes of scrolling and I'm like, oh my God, this is just virtue signaling all over the place. All right. Congrats for those that are still here after a long bear market. Yeah, I mean, a long consolidation period for sure, right? The bear market was technically here through most of 2022. And then the bull market actually started here in January of 2023, but nobody was there except for us. Like, in the Discord group, we were buying the dips and yeah, it wasn't super fast, but I think most of retail missed out on, call it, 15K through like 50K. because before the ETF, which got approved here and started trading in January, before that, retail was still very dissuaded by crypto. They were still very burned and salty from the FTX implosion, which, by the way, was the low of the market. So a lot of retail didn't even wake up until up here, and then they fell asleep again during this consolidation period, and now they're awake again. It's like the alarms are going off, like, oh my God, Bitcoin's back. Yeah, where's Rocky at? I don't know, man. He kind of disappeared into the sunset. You know, what happens is when some people make life-changing money, they work harder, and other people, you know, want to go have fun and do other stuff. And I don't think there's any right or wrong answer. I mean, I talk to OGs that have been in our community for a decade that are like, hey man, we just like kind of, you know, coming to the classes or, you know, occasionally chatting. And, you know, some people, like, I don't know, for me, I'm more motivated than ever, and I work more than I ever have. And I just wake up every day just like so stoked, because for me, like, building wealth and trading, it's a game. Like, I've truly gamified it to where I wake up and I'm like hunting for the next big opportunity. I like watching my bags compound, right? I've got a stock portfolio, I've got a crypto portfolio that's mostly Bitcoin long term, but I'm also a trader, man. I love coming in and, you know, taking some fiat and seeing how I can multiply that, build up my long-term capital buckets. And I also like investing in startups, you know, working with entrepreneurs and like helping people build some cool shit. All right. Are we at 99? Okay, that volume. So the 11 o'clock candle was not quite as much volume, at least on Bitstamp and Coinbase. Come on, boys, let's go. Fat finger that sucker. What do you guys think? Pop, stop, run, or rejection? Type in chat. What do you think it's going to be? Is it going to be say run if you think it's going to run through 100K, or say rejection if you think sellers are going to hold 100K? Hey, we got Nikki in here.
Hello.
Hey.
How we doing?
We're doing good. Let's see. We got a bunch of people saying run straight through. We got some rejections. What do you think, Nick?
Looks like we're running for it.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be shocked if we don't see it by the end of the day, but Fridays can be real snoozer days for traders. So, but it looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's either going to be one of those like market close FOMO rushes into the weekend, or volume's going to just like kind of fall off a cliff. That's why I'm like obsessing over this like hourly candle volume.
The big question is, do we get a huge rejection, fake out breakout at 100K, kind of break through it, and then big rejection off of it for a pullback? Or does that beget this massive wave of FOMO buying?
Right.
That's the big question.
Yep, we will see. We will see. Yeah, we're here midday. Let's see. Let's check in with Stonks. What's going on in your world, Nick?
We're kind of waiting to see if the S&P is going to give us a pullback or run back for all-time highs. It's kind of looking like we might see a run back to all-time highs next week from the technicals, which is not what I want to see. I really wanted to see a correction, but I think that things are just too bullish right now. So I'm anticipating we're going to run back to all-time highs next week.
Yeah. Look what the Russell's doing today.
Yeah.
Russell's up almost 2%. And it's kind of taken off midday here, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, small caps do well in low interest rate environments, and we're hoping to see tax cuts continue through 2020, see the tax cuts extended for 2025. If we see tax cuts extended and we see interest rates continuing to go down, that's a really great environment for small caps and mid caps that do a lot of, they take out a lot of, loans basically for growth. So higher interest rates really hurt them a lot. Big tech, don't have to worry about it. They've got so much cash. So that's probably why small caps are getting a little bit of momentum, but of course, a lot yet to be seen still when it comes to the political landscape and how that's going to affect the markets. A lot of people are worried about inflation picking back up, which is definitely something we'll keep an eye on. I don't know if
Nick. Hey, real quick, I don't know if you're using the right mic. I think you might be using your computer mic. Sounds a little breaking up. Oh, by the way, guys, how's my mic sound? Does it sound okay? Because I think yesterday in Zoom it sounded robotic. Does it sound normal?
Oh, you sound good.
Okay, there you go. You're on your right mic now.
Oh, darn it. Sorry, guys.
No, it's all good.
Bad. Did any of that sound like, could you make any of it out?
Yeah, it was just echoey.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, so Jacob just said, Kramer says, all I can tell you is own Bitcoin. That's a winner.
Oh no, that's not good.
All right. Bust out the McDonald's applications. It's over, boys.
That's not good and
girls. Just kidding. All right. Hey, Nick, take over for a second. I'm going to hit the restroom real quick.
I will tell you a stock that's been surprising me, Netflix. Netflix has been crazy. Did we lose Chris or is it just me? Do you guys see him? Chris went bye-bye? Okay. Oh no, I didn't mean to like I need him here. I guess I have to take over now. So what do you guys want to talk about? I'm not a crypto expert. I'm a financial planner, more on the stock side, but I know enough about crypto to be dangerous, but I'm no Chris Dunn. And I hope he comes back soon. But yeah, anything that you guys want to ask, any questions, anything you want to talk about, pop it in chat. I do have to get going in a probably 15 minutes, but yeah, next Carvana, please. Stock Geek is asking for the next Carvana. Well, I can tell you this is not financial advice, and I can tell you this is just what I'm doing in my own personal trading. But I'm watching Wayfair and I'm watching Upstart. Well, I'm actually long Upstart, but those are kind of the two that I think could pull the next Carvana type move. Again, not financial advice. That's just what I'm doing, what I'm looking at personally. I do trade my own portfolio. Okay, Chris is back. Yay.
Did I freak you
out? Dontres is asking, do you think 100K is a good time to sell some alt bags? That obviously, Chris, you can kind of touch on that from the crypto perspective, but I will say from the planning perspective, you have to think about what you're going to do with that capital, and do you have a plan for that capital going forward, and is there a better place to put it for bigger or better or more stable returns, however it is that you want to fit that into your plan. So kind of depends if you should sell, depends on obviously what Chris needs to talk about, which is alts in general and the environment we're in with alts, and B, what you plan on doing with that capital. Do you need the capital for something? Is there a goal you can, reach by selling? So kind of a lot that goes into that thinking. But Chris, what's your thought on the alts right now?
Alts are back in play. Man, I'm just watching this hourly on Bitcoin though. We just made a new intraday high from market open. So, yeah, we talked a little bit about alts, Nick, before you hopped on.
Okay.
But yeah, we were looking at the others chart, and I was talking about how this basically broke back into a bull market here in early November. And so that's good, but I still think we are in mostly Bitcoin season, which is shown by Bitcoin dominance still trekking up. And I said way back here, I think we're going right back to high 60s. This is what happened in the last alt season, but Bitcoin has been eating alts lunches since the start of the bull market in early 2023. And so I've been extremely, extremely selective. I've had some Sol. I took a trade on ETH. I had like just a handful of alt trades where in prior market cycles, I was a lot more aggressive. Sorry, we got price moving, boys. Let's see. The big question though is volume. I want to see volume come in. If it's just floating higher on low volume, that's not going to do much.
Dude, it's so close. Jeez. Well, the S&P looks like it's trying to go for it too.
Yeah. Stocks and crypto have actually been pretty correlated recently. At least over the last couple of days, you can see like on the dips. So yeah, if the S&P can take over.
Someone asked what my BTC prediction is, my personal BTC prediction.
Do you have one?
Short term or long term? Short term, I think we're probably going to break through 100K, see some FOMO buying through 100K, and then see that pullback before we continue higher. Where it goes from there is anybody's guess. I mean, 150 feels pretty reasonable after a pullback. If we get a pullback, 150, maybe 175. That's kind of more of like the shorter term idea I'm having. Chris, how does that sound to you?
Yeah, I had a lot of correlation of stuff up at 120. Let's do a top-down analysis right now. So I love to, whenever I start my day, like my routine, I kind of kick it off like this, where I'd start by looking at the larger time frames, and basically move my video down a little bit. I'm going to chill back here. What I'll do is I'll look at the yearly chart. So this is the 12-month in the top left, and Bitcoin loves to run from area to area. Even if you look over the past like several market cycles, over the course of weeks and months, it'll make its way to really large areas. So that's why we were up around this all-time high for several months. And then once we broke it, it was like, boom, there we go. So we've already done a 1-to-1 of this prior range. So are we going to do a 2-to-1? So if we stack this as a 2-to-1, that puts us up there closer to 120. Okay. So that's something to think about. One thing I'm also looking at here on the monthly chart, which to me, this is like probably the most beautiful chart. This is what gave me a lot of conviction in the breakout, was how in the last market cycle, we couldn't get above the 60K resistance area and stay above it. It was like every time we got above 60, sellers would hit it, and then that became resistance. So most of the trading action was below 60. This market cycle, it flipped. It went from resistance to support. So let me clean this up a little bit so you can see it better. But basically this 60K zone where it was a lot of resistance, you'll notice during that 8-month consolidation, yeah, we had these dips below it and there was a lot of wicks, but every time we would dip below, buyers would step in and scoop it. And what it was doing, it was stair stepping down the Fibonacci retracement ladder to that 50%. First, we came to the 23, then the 38, then the 50, and then boom. And so if we run an extension off of this, you can see that's where we're at the 100 right now. And then the next one is up there in the 120s. Now, you could also maybe run a trend line. And we're definitely reaching on this monthly. Now, we've only got like a week left in the month, give or take. So we're going to be getting the December candle. And the question is are we going to have a fourth green month in a row? Or are we going to have like an inside month, like consolidation through the end of the year? Or is it going to be a run like we saw back here? So here we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green months in a row. And then this was actually the longest green run in Bitcoin's history. It was 7 straight green months, and it got overextended. That's why we needed this consolidation. So that's what I mean when I say like this is the first like fresh breakout after consolidation. You can just see that very, very clearly here. So I think the most likely situation is the bull case where it's a multi-month green run. But we are so overextended. We're up over 40% on the month, and we are at the 100% extension and a big emotional price level of 100K. So I wouldn't be surprised to see if the market kind of cools off here for a bit. But if we get a pop stop run through it, I think it's going to be that waterfall of buying that gets us to the next level very quickly. So we'll have like a second massive green month in December. That's kind of my thoughts.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So basically, after kind of seeing the way you're laying out price and looking at it over here, I'm going to go, I don't want to say I'm going to go on record, but I'm going to guess that we end up poking through, we get through 100K, we get a waterfall of buying that pokes us through that resistance on that monthly that you had, which is around what, 107-ish, 6-ish. Maybe we get a wick into 120 and then the pullback comes.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, we need to be watching very closely. We need to be watching very closely how price moves through 100K.
Yep.
Because I think that we are overextended and due for a correction of some kind, even if it's smaller. But I also think that people are going to be shocked when if Bitcoin gets through 100K, and it's just going to like be all over the news, and it's going to trigger all of this FOMO buying. People at Thanksgiving are going to be talking about it. And that's where we could kind of see things get overextended through maybe even 110. Maybe we get to 120, maybe we don't, but kind of that 110 to 120 range as that overextension, FOMO buying, and then boom, correction after that. And then that's where people are going to be like, oh, Bitcoin's for real. And potentially that dip buying is going to be pretty strong for another leg up. Where that leg goes, I have no idea, but it could. Yeah, I don't know. But
yeah, this is what I'm thinking. So this is the bull case, right? Is we get a December FOMO candle. So it's like either today or sometime before the end of the month, we get through 100K. And then we get a December candle that rips and gets overextended. And then people, retail starts chasing. And then what could also happen, I don't want to sell hopium. You guys don't start smoking that hopium, but there is a situation where this becomes reflexive and this chart looks like a blip on the map. So again, I'm not betting the farm on this scenario, but this is something that is in the realm of possibility where we start doing multiple multiples of the prior range. Okay, so what is the prior range? Well, it's 15 to call it 70K, right? And then when you stack that, that's called a 1-to-1 multiple of the prior range. So if we start getting crazy overextended here and you start stacking these multiple of ranges, this is where we get into the multiple six figures. Now, again, that's not going to just happen on its own. Like something has to trigger that event. Be it the strategic Bitcoin reserve or, the UAE coming out and saying they're doing something, right? So like something has to trigger that, but that's what I would call the ultimate extreme bull case of the flash flood of capital, which creates that FOMO reflexive buying. So that's I didn't even write that here. But that's the extreme bull case, right? Is starting to do multiples of that. Because like, look, if I just keep this scaling where it is, like this looks like normal price action today. If you go back to the early days of all the shit we were doing from 2013 to 2017, it looks like a blip on the map, right? Well, what if that happens to this price action, right? What if this looks like a blip on the map and we start to get up here? Again, I'm not trying to get you guys to smoke that hopium, but that is a possibility that is on the table. I'm not betting the farm on it, but that whole God candle idea is not out of the realm of possibility.
I agree with you. I mean, just look at the Qs and the SPY and look at historical price action, and it's hard to believe the levels we've come from, with equities. So I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. I think that's why it's important to have your capital buckets properly defined so that you know what you're holding for those potential long shot Bitcoin really sticks around, really gets integrated into the system type trade, where so it's very important to make sure you're clear on your capital buckets going into a moment like this for people that have been invested long term and new investors.
All right, we're making a little bit of a run here. Let me go down to a 15-minute. I don't always stare at a 15-minute, but when I do, it's right below 100K.
Unfortunately, I got to run. Just wanted to come in and say hi.
All right.
I'll pop back in later again if you're still here, but good luck, everyone.
Thanks,
Congrats
Nikki. Thanks for helping the Bitcoin whales figure out how to properly manage their finances.
Yep. I literally have been on calls all day with clients. And I guess my busy season is when Bitcoin is reaching all-time highs. So I'm just really excited for everybody and trying to help everyone kind of understand how to make this work for them long term.
If you're somebody who's made life-changing money and you're trying to figure out if you can retire or how to retire, Nikki's the one to chat to.
Well, good luck, everyone. Thanks for having me. I'll try to catch you in a little bit.
All right. Thanks for coming on.
Yep. See ya.
See ya. All right. You guys are stuck with me now. All right. We've had over the last couple hours volume kind of coming down. What I'm really looking to is to see if we can get some massive blocks coming through. We've still got, if you look at the book here, woo boy, look at that sell wall, baby. Oh man. We'll keep our eye. 99.3. Sean was asking, I know you've done so previously, but wondering if you could talk about capital buckets once again. Yeah, I'll pull up my capital bucket thing while we're waiting here. Oh, there's some sellers coming in. That's the thing. If there's not enough volume, it's not going to be able to punch through. Yeah, let me see if I can find this for you guys. All right. Yeah, I've got it right here. Okay. So in my crypto portfolio, I do a couple of different buckets. So one is my hodl. Like, I've been stacking Bitcoin since 2013, and I just want that bucket to grow in Satoshi terms and in dollar denominated terms over the years. Number two is my cycle trades, where I'll buy in the depths of a bear market and sell during euphoria. So basically, buying when nobody's paying attention and then selling into strength. So that's like one of the trading buckets. Another is like swing trading. So I'll take swing trades where I hold for like a couple of days or a couple of months. Like MicroStrategy has been a swing trade for me. Bought at 200, sold a few weeks later into 350 and 500, right? Swing trade. And then occasionally I'll take a day trade, but it's not really that common anymore. Only if there's like extreme volatility and, I guess more like in the meme coin space, it makes more sense to day trade because only a lunatic would hold most of that stuff long term. And then startup investing. I have a capital bucket for startup investing as well. And then in these, I have different strategies, right? Dollar cost averaging, bull market setups, on and on. I have different strategies for each bucket. All right. I feel like I'm going to blink and we're going to be through 100. All right. See, we got some questions coming in. I'll try to get to these. I'm like making sure I don't miss anything on the charts. Also managing chat. Guys, thanks for hanging out with me again. Like, I really have fun doing these. If you enjoy it, make sure to like it up, share it if you're on X or YouTube. My buddy Steve just said my new suit profile picture triggered the bull run. How do you see the amount of volume coming in? So it's just a volume indicator at the bottom down here. So for anybody that's not familiar with TA, each candlestick has a volume correlation. It's the amount of Bitcoins being traded. So you basically multiply the price times whatever the volume is. What's up with Sheeb? Why hasn't it moved? Well, this has been around for a long time. Again, I was saying earlier that the ones that have been through several market cycles, they can tend to underperform in future market cycles. But I mean, this is definitely at a pop. It's just consolidating today. So, and actually over like the past 2 weeks. Solana also chilling. Usually when Bitcoin breaks out or is in a leg, alts tend to chill. So the way, like, I noticed back for the first time in like 2014 and 2015. As far as I know, I was the first guy to recognize that Bitcoin actually traded in market cycles and what the capital waterfall looked like. So it's like step one is you get Bitcoin has a bull run. Number two is when Bitcoin pulls back, basically when people sell, a percentage of that capital goes into alts, right? And it's typically large cap. And then, the capital flows down from large cap alts to small cap alts. Right. So a lot of people know this now. But it still kind of works that way. So, right now, Bitcoin is in a leg, right? It's in a multi-day leg to the upside. So capital is coming to Bitcoin. Sure, some of that is filtering into alts, but like here, you can see during this consolidation, that's when Bitcoin dominance actually came down a little bit because people were selling Bitcoin for alts. Hope that makes sense. Will altcoin season ever come? We're in an altcoin bull market, but will it ever outperform Bitcoin as a whole? I doubt it. You're going to need to be more of a sniper than a shotgun. Minister, do you think it's better now to just hold Bitcoin forever, borrow against it, and maybe even buy more? Or do you still believe we should sell during the hype? Well, I'm not your financial advisor, so you definitely want to talk to somebody who knows your situation because the right answer is different for everybody. The whole idea, the theory of buy, borrow, and die is nice in theory, but in Bitcoin, it's been hard to do. People that did that in Celsius and BlockFi and all that shit, they lost everything. So counterparty risk is a very real thing. Personally, I have no problem selling Bitcoin, increasing my fiat stack, and then buying more Bitcoin later. Some people don't like to do that though. So if you're somebody who is trying to figure out a way to maintain your Bitcoin stack and also live life, there are ways to borrow and there are more options coming down the pipeline over the next year. But just don't ignore counterparty risk. That goes with leaving your coins on an exchange. Everybody knows this by now, but still a lot of people lost money in FTX. So hello, Tone Vase says we won't break 100K. What's Tone up to? Somebody hit him up and see if he wants to come on. I might be able to DM him. All right. Let's jump back over. Price is holding up quite well today. I'm just waiting for that big volume candle to come in. So we are back up to all-time highs from last night. The all-time high on Coinbase is $99,543 even. The current high of today on this candle is $99,498 even. So I'm looking for some kind of God candle here, boys. Give me something not like that, like this. Give me a pop stop run through 100. Or are sellers going to hang on here? And are we going to get chop into 100K like this before finally snapping it? All right. While we're waiting, hitting more questions. Maziar, why do you think more companies haven't replicated MicroStrategy? Good question. I think a lot of people in the corporate America sphere in general are just afraid of career risk. They're afraid of doing something that could get them fired because the reality is most large cap stocks are not held. The power, the voting power is not held by a single guy like Michael Saylor. He can dictate what MicroStrategy does. As far as I know, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he has enough board seats to where he can just do whatever the hell he wants. Where most other public companies, at least the large cap ones, are not like that. So they have to have consensus. And for you guys that have been in the corporate world, finding consensus with corporate cronies is hard. And taking on big risk as perceived by corporate America is also hard. But I think we're going to see a lot more public companies building strategic Bitcoin reserves in 2025. Face says, I sold during that dip or the hype. I want that dip. Yeah, man. That's why capital buckets are so great. Because you get to participate in all of it. Some people are like, oh, traders are traitors and you shouldn't trade. You should only hodl. And most people that say that actually end up panic selling bear markets. It's funny how that works. But if you have a cold storage stack and a trading bucket, you can do it all, baby. You can juice your returns while also taking care of your financial future. It's not an all or nothing. Let's see. Has there been any news since we've been doing this? How long have we been live? I think what, an hour and a half or so? Let's see. Anything popping? Looks like maybe a slower news day. Bump, bump, bump. Yeah, lots of stuff about the SEC. Cool. All right. So smaller volume candle. We've got a little less than half an hour in the noon candle. Trav says Saylor has 56% of the voting power at MicroStrategy. Yeah, so he can dictate what they do. The Star family says, I remember everybody in 2017 talking about 20K Bitcoin, and then it would barely miss going to 19,800. Hopefully not the same thing with 100K. Yeah, basically, like, does the market top out below 100K? Because we're not guaranteed to get through 100. We still need the demand side of the equation to kick in. Odds say we're going to do it because we're so close to it, just from a probabilistic standpoint. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Was a hodler since 15, 16 and mined my Bitcoin's great. Hell yeah. Yeah, we can look at some on-chain stuff. I see some questions coming in about that. Where do you see ETH heading in the next few months compared to Sol? Do you think Sol will continue outperforming? I mean, it's hard to know for sure, but I mean, right now it has been because of the meme coin craze. What happens when that slows down? I don't know. But the Ethereum Foundation hasn't been doing anything for the trust of Ethereum in the public's eye, basically sucking out a ton of money. So yeah, if we break through 100, I think, again, the most likely situation is a parabolic blow off top in the short term. This is, again, part of a second leg, but we've got a major price zone. This is a 1-to-1 of this prior range, and it's 100% extension from the larger trend. So definitely a highly volatile area. I mean, anything could happen around here. We could get a liquidation event. We could get parabolic. That's why, like, I don't always just sit here and watch intraday price action, but being so close to this area, it's like, I think all eyes are on the market right now, Don't you think that alt season might be different since it's what drives ETFs? Yeah, I mean, the ETFs definitely add a layer of dimension to the equation now. Which, by the way, let's take a look here. This is what mom and pop ETF holders are seeing. They're happy, right? List, sell off, first breakout held, secondary breakout, bull market. So this chart is still very bullish. Let me check on, yeah, stocks are kind of slow. NASDAQ is basically coiling up here. I think Nikki might be right. We might be going into like a slower close going into the weekend. But if Bitcoin's going to make a move, it'd be good if it did it prior to close. That way we don't end up with another big gap over the weekend. Cool. Let's see. Remember the flippening. Yeah. There's always a new narrative, right? There's always a new cult. There's always a new cult leader. You know, the narrative this time around is the meme coin super cycle. Buy and hold meme coins for a year. Absolute insanity, if you ask me. Meme coins are for trading. They are not a store of value. But then you do have the edge cases and the outliers like Doge and stuff that actually hold their value. But 99.99999% of this shit is going to zero. But in the short term, we can make a lot of money trading it. I love the volatility over here. So I was doing some scans before we got started today. And I've got just some like pretty broad filters. Let's just see what's actually slinging some volume. What do you guys say? This is doing the slow walk. This is doing a low accumulation range. So if the challenging thing about memes is the best risk to reward comes earlier, but that's when you have the least amount of proof that it's actually going to work. So the biggest skill here is finding ones that are actually going to catch the zeitgeist. So I haven't really slung any size at meme coins yet. Still back testing and just seeing like where I really want to hit it. I would like to do some like, 8-figure trades over the next year in that space. That'd be fun. All right, guys, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wrap up in 15 minutes. After about 2 hours, my brain kind of turns into mush. But if something pops off later, I will maybe come back on. I've got to be productive. I've got several projects in the works and a team relying on me. So we'll see. But what other questions do you guys have? Let's spend the next 15 minutes answering whatever questions you guys have. And if anybody wants to fat finger 1,000 Bitcoin block, go ahead and do it now. Pepe seems to be in that ballpark of zeitgeist with CB and Robinhood listings. Returns have been quite huge. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the evolution is like if you start out on, pump fun, then you go from, just trading on the DEX screeners and then you get listed on Binance and shit. I mean, that's what brings a lot of capital flow. So those are the ones to find. Absolutely. Let's see. We already talked about Suey, Kramer. Yeah. Been talking about Kramer. I guess he's bullish now. I wish that guy would just like kind of go into retirement. Are you guys doing a Black Friday sale to join the community? Yeah, I think we have it up on the website right now. Yeah, so if you go to skillincubator.com, my team did add this. It's Black Friday is the promo code. So it's like 50% off of your first month or quarter. Yeah, that should work. You guys can go check that out if you want. Skillincubator.com. I'm sure most of you guys are already in there. If you're not, what the hell are you doing with your life? Come join us, man. We have a blast. All right. Let's see. Why do you think coin is lagging so bad? Yeah, we haven't pulled up coin yet. Let's see. I've actually been looking at this. I did not pull the trigger on the gap close last week, but I was watching it like a hawk, and I've been looking at some options plays. It's basically consolidating. So, what were my notes here? Oh, this was one of the biggest narratives for the Trump pump as like the deregulation play. So it took off and it went actually very big percentage move. It was like almost a double in just a week. So it's basically chilling, consolidating. Had the gap close, holding up, a little fake out breakout. But yeah, stocks can take time to move. Sui, Bitcoin. I mean, I don't trade off of Bitcoin charts, meaning like alt Bitcoin charts. I know you love, Neil, I know you love just talking nonstop about Sui, but I mean, it looks good, right? It's holding up. I talked about the USD chart earlier today. Let's see. Which meme would you drop 50,000 on today that could be up in the next couple of weeks? Let me see. I got to find my crystal ball. No personal finance or no personal trade recommendations, guys. I'm not a financial advisor. I can't tell you where to put 50 grand. What about Trump coin? Yeah, how's DJT on the stock doing? Probably not well. Yeah, it's kind of a want. Are there any Trump memes that are actually doing okay? There's so damn many of them now. I think they've kind of had their full rotation. I don't know. You guys let me know if you see any others. Ape says, check out the heat map. There's 109 million short ready for liquidation. Yeah, man. I think we've got some short squeezes on the horizon. All right, let's see. Where did my daily go? All right. How's the noon candle coming together? Volume's actually looking good. We've got about 10 minutes left in the noon candle. I would hate to close this and then it just rips. Why do you think there's so much institutional money flowing into Bitcoin right now? Do you think this could lead to a smaller correction? I mean, it's the narrative. You know, Sailor's been everywhere. Bitcoin's cool again. Bitcoin's popular. It's funny when Bitcoin's cheap, nobody wants to talk about it. When Bitcoin's expensive, all the fake gurus come out to play, all the corporate people start talking about it, all the news people start talking about it. Cool. All right, guys. Let's see. We've got about 10 minutes left. Feel free to shill your coins, whatever they are. I know people love to pump their bags. Feel free to throw it in chat. I don't care. Let's see what's moving here on Dex. Man, Chill Guy was a hell of a story, wasn't it? If you look at this, so if you turn it on market cap, see, I mean, this thing went from just a few $100K to an all-time high of over $500 million. And it's actually still holding up. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of these just kind of pump and then dump right away. But then some catch a leg and actually start to trend. Shitcoin, that's actually a good ticker. It's quite literal, isn't it? BNC, is that a meme or what? Let's see what we can find on here. I don't know if this is it. We're not going to go too far into DGN land here. China and Russia unbanned Bitcoin and Dogecoin. When you trade memes, do you trade the chart or treat it like a lottery play and trade the momentum? That's a good question. I think the best way is to try to do a combination of both. Meaning you want to like obviously get something that's in play and has like capital coming in, but you've also got to take the risk. And if you're going to be early, you don't know what's going to catch moves. So I know those are like kind of opposite things. That's why I'm still trying to dial in my strategy. And yeah. Ripple seems to be the laggard that has a 7-year descending triangle. Yeah, I mean, the thing that sucks about Ripple is it is a centralized shitcoin. There's a lot of supply and a lot of bag holders. I mean, I've been trading this thing for probably close to a decade. Can't even see it on this chart. We were trading Ripple at a fraction of a penny back in the old days. But yeah, I mean, this is definitely not a decentralized pure play here. Yeah, there's a lot of pie in the sky projections. But Grant, run the math on what that kind of market cap would look like. Chris, how long are you free of the 9-to-5 grind? I need three more Bitcoin cycles before I'm free or in that area of life-changing wealth. Yeah, I mean, look, I left corporate America in 2007 to become a full-time trader. And then I started trading futures and stocks, and that worked well until it didn't. And the futures market became dominated by high-frequency algorithms and professional, not professional, but just large hedge funds. And so that's why in 2013, I went all in on Bitcoin because I'm like, yo, this is where the average Joe can actually make life-changing money. And so, you know, that first market cycle, basically, I was set. Like, I don't have to work if I don't want to, but I just love doing what I'm doing and I'm playing the game and I want to play this game for as long as possible. So you guys are probably going to see my ugly mug on YouTube, even when I'm like a 70-year-old man. I'm not going anywhere. I just love this, and I love like communicating with you guys. So the goal of what I do now is like trying to help you guys do that, like get out of the 9 to 5, or like try to find a way where you can build life-changing wealth. And I don't think you need like multiple crypto cycles for that to happen. I mean, there's more than one way to build wealth. So, all right, press the big green button and push us through. Let's see what the noon candle is looking like. We got 5 minutes. Yeah, volume kind of fell off. Everybody's going to lunch. Tezos had a big pop. Yeah, we started to call Tezos the ticker that shall not be named because it's such a pain in the ass to trade. We made good money on it in the early days, but in recent times, it's been in the long kiss of death. So we were trading it back here in like 2019, 2020. But this was tough because every time it would make a high, it would tweezer top. So some charts are easier than others. But yeah, guys, thanks for joining me today. This was fun. I'm getting pretty hungry, so we'll wrap it up. But yeah, feel free to reach out if there's anything I can do to help you guys. We've got the community where you can holler at me in Discord, or feel free to ping me on Twitter or X or whatever. Yeah, share these videos if there's any stubborn family members that need help. Yeah, we're going on 11 years of this game, guys. 11 years. I know a lot of you have been here with me over a long period of time, and it's cool to see familiar names, and also to meet up with you guys at our wealth retreats. We just had one in Austin that was super dope. It was a smaller group because Nikki was doing like one-on-one planning with a lot of the crypto folks. But hopefully in Q1 we'll do another big get together somewhere tropical. A few years ago, we did one in the Cayman Islands, which was just so awesome. It was at an all-inclusive, and just had a lot of fun there. So awesome, man. Cool. Yeah. Well, thanks for being here, guys. I appreciate everybody. And I will see you guys maybe in 10 minutes. I don't know. If something goes crazy on price action, I'll probably have to pop back on here. But it looks like the volume is kind of falling off here for lunch. We've got 3 minutes left in the noon candle. And yeah, the volume is about half of the morning session, which is kind of normal, through lunch. So hopefully they're coming back. Maybe we'll get an afternoon run. But all right, guys, I appreciate everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Love you guys, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care.